Jameis Winston got his third preseason start in Tampa Bay on Saturday, and Cleveland proved to be a tough matchup for the quarterback. Jameis was sacked 4 times and intercepted once by the Browns defense before leaving after one series in the third. He went 6 of 15 for 90 yards. It appears Jameis is having trouble finding a rhythm over this past weekend. Shannon, are you sold on him?
I'm not going to give up on him, but he spent so much time on his back. I'm beginning to wonder if Lovie Smith actually cares about the kid because his offensive line can't protect him. I'm just joking. I was just using the RG3 Jay Gruden analogy. When I looked at him in college, you know what he reminded me of? Byron Leftwich, with not quite as long a throwing motion, but that's who he's built like. That's who he moves like. I don't think he'll ever be a 60% completion guy. I do think you can win with him. My only concerns is, can they run the foot? Can they protect him? His offensive line, they don't look very good. And in that division, Carolina can get up the quarterback. The Saints can get up the quarterback a little bit. Atlanta, now they have Dan Quinn, can possibly chase the quarterback. So those are my only concerns. I'm not going to give up on him, but I'm not all in. I'm not jumping in all in for him.
I remain sold on Jameis Winston. I'm actually glad he's going through his NFL trial by fire in the preseason as opposed to their first 4 or 5 regular season games that I think Mariota is going to have a welcome to the NFL world shock.
Okay.
I believe in Jameis's accuracy. I think he's much more accurate than Byron Leftwich ever was. I think he's more athletic and moves better than Byron ever did. And there's some it factor with Jameis. He went 26-1 at a very high-profile D1 school, a football factory, if you will. And he led men or young men. They wanted to follow him.
He's definitely a leader now.
Yeah, he's got that contagious confidence about him. I know he's been on his back way too much. They're also starting 2 rookies in the offensive line,
yeah, see, that's what
which is scary.
That's what scares me.
I agree. Now, Mike Evans, the big receiver from Texas A&M, didn't play. He said he's okay to play, and he wanted to play in the 3rd preseason game, but he didn't play.
Right.
So when you got that big kid and Vincent Jackson over here, you got a chance now. You got a chance to start getting rid of the ball a little quicker, possession routes.
And Martin is healthy again.
Hey, Doug Martin is looking like Doug Martin of 2 years ago.
Yes.
And that's going to be huge for him. And I just believe this, that Lovie is going to start to fix the defense on the fly. I was shocked at how bad they were last year, and I believe people are going to be shocked by how good the defense is this year. Because they have some studs over there.
But here's the thing, Skip. Are they going to ruin him but not being able to protect him? You remember what David Carr went through with the Houston Texans, that offensive line, and he just got pummeled. And he never regained his confidence. And that's my only concerns, because in the little bit that I have seen him in the preseason, he spends so much of his time on his back or so much time running for his life. So that scares me about him. But I'm not all in like you are. You're 100% all in. But I do think he's going to be he'll be a good quarterback. I don't see Pro Bowl. I don't see All Pro. I don't see all time great written over him. But I think he'll be slightly better than what we think.
I think he can be a star. And I do not think this is one young man whose confidence will not get wrecked. Like you talked about, Carr's confidence just got bludgeoned until he didn't have any.
Yes.
I don't think you can wreck this young man's confidence.
It happens to everybody, Skip. It happens to everybody. You get hit enough, as they say in boxing, once you get knocked out one time, there's always that doubt in your head, this could happen again. Quarterbacks go through it. Peyton Manning told you, even when he came up, not only could I get back to being the old Peyton Manning, but could I even be a decent quarterback in this league? Tom Brady, you go through this, and he's going through it as a young, but even as you're young and you think you're invincible, when it happens enough, it starts to weigh on you. You're like, man, what's going on here? And then you're going to start hearing the groundswell. Well, they should have took Mariota. Fans start booing. They're not winning any game. Now, as long as they win, it doesn't matter what his numbers look like. They'll be fine. But what happens if they don't get off to that good start and he's still getting pummeled? Then what happens?
Boy, you're down on every quarterback we talk about.
I'm just realistic.
Tony Romo, Sam Bradford,
I'm not down on Romo.
Yes or no? You down on Mariota? I'm putting you on the spot there with the yes or no.
I just haven't seen enough. I mean, I got to let him play. I got to see at least 8 games.
Regular season games, yes.
Meaningful games, not no
preseason.
10 plays here, 20 plays there.
Thank you.
Got it. All right, we know the Eagles soared, but how about Tim Tebow?
Oh, my God. Skip!
Find out if he's making Philly's roster next.
You brought me back for this.
Shannon can't wait for this.
I got no comment.
Shannon's hype. The Eagles beat the Packers 39-26 thanks to a strong first team. But how did one Tim Tebow, who had a chance to lock up a roster spot, look? Well, Chip Kelly called for his backup quarterback to run a two-point conversion twice. He failed both times. So did he blow it? The Eagles began trimming their roster yesterday and must finalize cuts by this Saturday, September 5th. Skip, you think Tebow made the team?
Shannon Sharp, I have gone from no doubt he'll make the team to now I'm not sure. And I'll be the first to admit I am concerned for one Tim Tebow. Clearly, this is his last stop, his last chance, his last hurrah. And I see him putting extreme pressure on himself, playing with and against fourth stringers every time he gets thrown into the game, except for those two-point conversion tries. And I'm starting to see what I saw in New England when he tried to make the Patriots under extreme fire, trying to compete with Tom Brady and Ryan Mallett. I'm seeing brain lock. I'm seeing paralysis by overanalysis, where you think yourself into oblivion. You're thinking so hard about, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to come here, I'm supposed to do this, and then I'm supposed to read this, I'm supposed to look there, that he's not playing football the way he did when he got on that great roll in Denver back in 2011. And his stats have been okay. I don't even want to throw it. He's 10 out of 19. It's a little better than 50%. First outing, he threw 2 or 3 nice passes that Chip Kelly actually pointed out and raved about. And then it wasn't so good in the second one, and it was maybe even a little worse than the third one. He only threw a couple of passes the other night, completed both of those. He's run 10 times for 50 yards. I think Chip Kelly loves him as a guy. How can you not? Because he's everything you'd want to coach. So it's up to Chip Kelly to be that against-the-grain guy, the one guy in the league who would say, no, I'm going to keep him. As he keeps saying, he's a quarterback, but will he be a gadget guy on two-point conversions? Will he be able to beat out a Matt Barkley, who's actually played pretty well at times in this? You know, and the news was, and I was reporting this before the Tebow announcement, Matt Barkley was on the trading block, and I think they thought they had a deal done with the Miami Dolphins. They waited to announce the Tebow thing, and for some reason, the Dolphin deal fell apart, and Matt Barkley, as we know, is still an Eagle. So will Chip Kelly keep him because he hasn't seen enough from Tim Tebow, which brings me to Thursday night. I'm going to guess that Tim Tebow plays a lot more than just the fourth quarter on Thursday night. He might play a half. He might play, I don't know, 3 quarters, knowing Chip Kelly. And then we will see, even against a lot of backup players, if he can progress enough to convince Chip to keep him.
I told all my Twitter followers, and I told my sister that we weren't going to talk about Tebow today. Libby, I'm sorry. Skip made me talk about Tim Tebow.
Can't lie to the family.
But I think I was pretty honest about Tim Tebow.
You were very honest, Skip. And he is something. The thing is, Skip, he's not a natural thrower of the football. And so what they try to do is rework his mechanics, and that doesn't feel natural to him. And eventually, no matter how much practice you get doing something, when you get in the bind, you will go back to what you know, muscle memory. We've heard people talk about it. Skip, I don't see the progression that all the gurus that he worked with was telling us. Tim Tebow is one of the 10 or 20 best throwers of the football. If you line them all up there, you couldn't tell them.
That was from Tom House, my friend in L.A., who was tutoring Tim. And tutors Drew Brees and Tom Brady and everybody else.
A lot of great quarterbacks.
Yeah. I don't see it, Skip. I don't see that he's gotten better throwing the football. I don't see he's gotten better processing information, reading defenses. And as you mentioned, if he plays 3 or 4 quarters, let's say he plays 3 quarters on Thursday night. Can you imagine the pressure that he's going to be under? Because think about it. These are not starters. A lot of these guys are probably not going to make the roster. And if he doesn't have a good showing, and you saying he's pressing, I believe he's pressing because he's like, I want to show, I need to show, I need to show. And he realized this is it. Because if you can't play in Chip Kelly's offense, what offense can you play in?
This is it.
This offense is really tailor-made for his skill set. Nobody else is going to build an offense around Tim Tebow's skill set. So this is the last stop. But I just don't. I want to, and I saw what you saw the first game, but it was short passes, quick throws, Skip. You know,
the first
boot.
pass he made was really good, where he stepped right back in the pocket,
Right.
threw a rocket up the middle.
He did.
Yeah.
And they were like good throws. And then he kind of like reverted back to like holding the football, taking sacks, you know, balls way overthrown. It just doesn't look good. And he was doing a great job at the SEC network. And I know he says, well, I want to live out my dream. Skip, nobody says how long that dream gets to last. He played 3-4 years in the National Football League. He had a 7-8 game run that was good as anybody could have hoped for. Maybe that's it, Skip. Maybe we don't all get to have 13, 14, or like Peyton Manning, 4 neck surgeries in an 18-month span, come back and to be Peyton Manning again. We don't all get to have those kind of careers. And I get what Tim's saying that, you know, my dream is to play quarterback. Well, Tim, maybe you've already fulfilled your dream. No one said the dream had to last for 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. Maybe it was only 3. And be satisfied with that, because there are a lot of people.
It's hard for me to process how one player, as a second-year player, could be that great for that long stretch in Denver, win a playoff game.
I wouldn't say he was great, Skip. He was good, Skip. Come on now, Skip. Let's not.
He took a terrible football team. They were 1-4, and he took them to the division title.
Skip, but look at his numbers in those games, Skip.
Look at his QBR in the last 5 minutes of those games.
Skip,
number 1 in the NFL.
So we need to have another quarterback play the 55 minutes and just bring him in if the game's
all he did is win games.
So
that's what I said.
He went to the Jets, and you said, well, he was perfect, but Rex didn't give him a chance.
Never gave him a chance.
He went to New England. The offensive coordinator that drafted him #1 overall could not talk Coach Belichick into keeping him.
Could not.
He was out of the league for 2 years. He's in Chip
What
Kelly.
kind of a fit was he in New England? That's like you talk about fish out of water fit. Woo.
You told me, I watched Skip. You know I watched you. You said Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, that's the guy that drafted him, that believed in him. He couldn't talk Coach Belichick into keeping him.
He's not the head coach.
He goes to Philly. He doesn't make it here. Now what?
Well, it's done.
If he is done, I know this, I don't know if it's a silver lining, because I know he truly wants to play football, but he has a really bright future in television.
Yes. Yeah,
his dream.
He's got a great agent.
Skip.
I know.
His NFL career, I mean, he lived out his dream. No one said it had to be 7 years.
All right.
I didn't say I'm giving up on him. I just said it's going to be tough.
We got to move on here, guys. The Bills hang 43. We got smiles and laughs on the Steelers' defense. Will the defense be the reason why the Steelers won't make the playoffs? No steel curtain, my friends.